All right, Disney launched its controversial, nearly $500 Skip the Line service. Sometimes double the cost of a single-day park ticket, this pricey add-on has guests in sticker shock. But could it be one of the best options Disney's offered? We're taking a deeper look at Disney's Premier Pass today on DFB Guide. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. So Disney's been offering ways to skip the lines at their theme parks for over 25 years, but over the years, things have changed a lot. From completely free to now costing several $100s, Disney World and Disneyland are offering more ways to skip the line, but at what cost? Here's how it all started. FastPass first debuted in 1999 with paper tickets. Remember those that let you essentially reserve your spot in line later that day. You had to physically walk to the attraction and get a physical ticket that you would use in order to enter a shorter line, only for those guests who got up early and grabbed the FastPass. The paper tickets went away in 2013 when Disney introduced FastPass Plus, the digital version. Still free at the time, guests could make 3 ride selections in advance and more once they used those ones. FastPass became customizable. You could plan your trip in advance around those rides, change return times, and book more right from your phone or kiosks around the parks. But the playing field wasn't level for all guests anymore. Disney Resort guests were able to book FastPass Plus 30 days in advance of those not staying at a Disney-owned hotel, and rides were split into tiers, meaning you could only book one of the most popular rides in a park in advance. This changed how people planned their Disney vacations, but it wasn't affecting their budgets yet. And then Disney added a price tag. The first paid Skip the Line service we saw was in Disneyland in 2017 with MaxPass, which was an alternative to using the free FastPass Plus system on the West Coast. Prices were relatively low initially, just $10 per day or $75 for the whole year, and there was still the free version if you didn't want to pay for the upgrade and still skip the lines. Upon reopening after the park's COVID closures, any form of Skip the Line service was on hold. Disney initially suspended FastPass Plus before announcing that the service would be discontinued altogether and replaced by Disney Genie Plus and individual lightning lanes, and guests would have to pay to use them. The Disney Genie service made its debut in October 2021. Genie provided access to lightning lanes, which allowed guests to bypass standby lines for select attractions with an extra purchase. They were basically just the same lines that FastPass used to use, and offered other free on-the-go planning tools to help guests maximize their time in the 4 Disney World parks: Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom. As of July 24th, 2024, there has been an official name change for the Lightning Lane service. So Disney Genie Plus is now Lightning Lane Multipass, and individual Lightning Lanes are now Lightning Lane Single Pass. And on October 30th, 2024, a third all-inclusive option was introduced to select resort hotel guests: Lightning Lane Premier Pass. Okay, we got you up to speed. Now, what is Lightning Lane Premier Pass, you're asking? Well, it's an inclusive option. It grants one-time entry into every Lightning Lane in a given park for one price. This eliminates the need to monitor Lightning Lane availability, schedule stuff on your phone, make new Lightning Lane reservations throughout the day, and it grants the ability to simply show up at an attraction and enter the Lightning Lane, as opposed to booking a specific time. Now, Disney has recently made Lightning Lane Premier Pass available to all Disney hotel guests, so you don't need to only be paying the big bucks for a deluxe resort in order to buy this anymore. Again, the big perk here is that you get access to every ride that offers a Lightning Lane in that park, including those that are typically in the extra fee single pass Lightning Lane, like Tron or Cosmic Rewind list. And you don't need to select return times for those rides either, you just show up and hop in line. Premier Pass is park specific and has different pricing depending on the park and date chosen. Here's a look at the price ranges for Lightning Lane Premier Passes per person per day for Disney World. Prices aside, there are some major pros and cons to Premier Pass. I know pretty much everything on the internet is telling you that this is a big old ripoff, but it's not necessarily. There are people who are going to benefit from Lightning Lane Premier Pass. So here are some pros. It's one purchase and all the rides. Premier Pass lets you skip the line at everything you possibly could. No choosing between Peter Pan's Flight or Space Mountain when you're booking in advance. Every ride is included. Well, every ride that has a Lightning Lane. Now, you won't have to decide if you're splurging on Single Pass for Tron or Seven Dwarfs Mine Train because you're splurging on everything. Another pro, there's no extra planning. With Multi-Pass or Single Pass, you need to plan out what time your family arrives at the park, what time you'll eat, etc., in order to decide what time you want to ride which rides. And if those ride times don't fit into your meticulously planned schedule, then you'll have to make adjustments. Running late at your dinner reservation? Your kid needs an unexpected midday nap? You won't have to worry about missing that ride or trying to change return times if you have Lightning Lane Premier Pass. Also, you're only limited by time. Instead of waking up early ahead of your trip and hoping you've clicked fast enough to grab return times for those popular rides like you would if you're using MultiPass, and then returning to the app all day long in the hopes of getting as many Lightning Lane selections as possible, you've got them all locked up. And while we've definitely got a ton of Lightning Lanes using MultiPass, there's a very good chance you won't be able to skip the line for every ride using that system, just because many rides will get booked up. With MultiPass, you'll likely still end up in several standby lines if you're trying to ride everything, even if you're a pro at the system. Okay, so what are the cons for Premier Pass? Well, besides the price, right? Okay, you can only book one park per day. There's no option for park hopping and using Lightning Lane Premier Pass in a second park that day. If you plan on park hopping, you'll need to purchase Lightning Lane Multi-Pass or Single Pass for your next park if you wish to use the Lightning Lanes. Next con, you can only skip the line at each ride once per day. You'll find a list of all the available rides for your day in the My Disney Experience app, and as you ride each one, it's removed from your list of experiences that are available to you. Shows that are included in Lightning Lane Premier Pass show up with all the available times and instruct you to arrive at least 10 minutes early. Under your available experiences, there is a list of redeemed experiences. So even though you're paying a lot of money, you can only ride each one of those rides once. And you can only buy it if you're staying at a Disney resort. As of right now, Premier Pass is limited in scope as they test it out for demand and functionality. We could see it expand to all Disney guests regardless of if they're staying at a Disney hotel or not, but only time will tell. Now, heads up that Disneyland's Premier Pass works a little bit different than it does in Disney World. Here, you're going to be able to purchase the pass up to 2 days ahead of a park reservation with no advance booking on the start date, but Disneyland's version of the Premier Pass is available to everyone, not just resort guests or deluxe resort guests, on a first-come, first-served basis with limited availability. Disneyland's Premier Pass also includes Lightning Lanes in both Disneyland Park and Disney California Adventure for the same day. Right now, Disneyland Lightning Lane Premier Pass costs $300 to $400 per person per day, depending on the date. So, when does it make sense to actually buy Premier Pass? First off, yes, Premier Pass is expensive, but expensive doesn't mean it's bad or a bad deal. Consider how much more expensive Disney vacations are than a trip to a smaller nearby amusement park or the beach. It's just something different. So if you don't find yourself in the limitless budget dream Disney vacation situation where Premier Pass would be a no-brainer, when might it really make a difference for your trip? Well, maybe you're taking a short trip. Having just 1 or 2 days in Disney World can mean packing a lot into a very short window of time. If you're planning to spend a lot of time in the parks, you might opt for a relatively cheaper hotel stay at Swan and Dolphin, or even use Marriott or credit card points for a free stay, and put more of your budget toward Premier Pass in order to really maximize the time you do have. Room rates start at around $200 for the Dolphin. They can definitely go up from there, but that's the lowest you might see. Price-wise, it's comparable to a value or moderate Disney resort most of the time. If you wanted to ride every ride in Magic Kingdom alone, for most people that's going to take more than 1 day, but with Premier Pass, you could easily do it in a single day. Let's compare 2 scenarios. A room in a value resort running at about $200 per night. You want to do it all in Magic Kingdom, so that's a 2-day ticket running you a minimum $214 per ticket. You likely want at least 3 nights at that hotel, making your total for hotel and park tickets $814 pre-tax, and if you're traveling solo. But if you have Premier Pass, you could do all of Magic Kingdom in 1 day and actually shorten that trip by 1 night. We'd only need 1 day in Magic Kingdom, even if we wanted to ride everything, so just $109 per ticket. Premier Pass at its lowest comes in at $329, so you'd be able to shave off a night at your hotel, bringing this total to $838 pre-tax for a solo traveler. Just a $24 difference from our first scenario, and that's before taking into account the increased food budget from adding that 3rd night to your trip. Now, realistically, you might not be traveling solo. You may prefer 3 nights to 2, but in terms of budgeting, the argument can definitely be made that under the right circumstances, Premier Pass could save you money on a short trip. Let's look at a little more common scenario, the once-in-a-lifetime, all-encompassing Disney trip. This might be your family's one and only visit to Disney World. You've saved for years to really do it up. You're staying at one of the monorail resorts because it just seems so quintessentially Disney World. You've got a hefty souvenir budget. You're planning to try every snack you've seen featured on DFB Guide, and you 100% want to ride every single ride. Even with a whole week at Disney World, it can be tough to do and see it all. This traveling group may opt to reallocate some of their souvenir or food budget, or even just plan to set aside more money ahead of their trip in order to include a day or two of Premier Pass to free up some time that would have been spent in standby lines in order to do more. And then there are the splurge trips. Is this vacation an incredible special occasion? Is it your honeymoon? Did you beat an illness? Is it a milestone birthday? There are plenty of upgrades and splurges around the Disney parks that people take advantage of to celebrate special occasions. Victoria and Albert's, the uber fancy restaurant at the Grand Floridian with its Michelin star, has tasting menus starting at $295, and that's often seen as a reasonable, or at least understandable, splurge. Perhaps you're not into fine dining, but you want to have an amazing day riding everything, and you've budgeted for a splurge at Disney. It makes sense to consider Premier Pass. At the end of the day, you don't have to buy Premier Pass. There are plenty of other ways to ride Disney's rides for cheaper or free. Premier Pass definitely isn't for everyone. Some people saw that price and immediately said, no way, not on my budget. And there are some people who are going to buy this for every single trip. There are some people who will find a circumstance where this upgrade truly enhances their visit. As you probably noted in most of the examples I've shared, we're talking primarily about using Premier Pass at Magic Kingdom. Just like MultiPass, there are some parks we feel have more value to offer from that skip the line purchase. Magic Kingdom has the most lightning lanes, which is why it costs more than the other parks, and it's the toughest to do it all in a short amount of time. Hollywood Studios would likely be the second most recommended park for purchasing either Premier Pass or MultiPass, because it's got a lot of lightning lane eligible experiences, and it has a lot of popular rides that see very long waits. While Test Track is closed for refurb, skip the line services are less necessary in Epcot, and Animal Kingdom only has a few rides and shows that are eligible, so those parks can be a little harder to justify, but there are 100% scenarios where it does make sense to buy either Premier Pass or MultiPass in those parks. Just depends on what kind of vacation you're looking for. Now, how does it stack up to Universal Orlando's Skip the Line service? With Epic Universe opening in the next few months, the rivalry between Disney World and Universal is a hot topic. So how does Premier Pass compare to Universal's offerings? Well, Universal offers two tiers of Skip the Line service. Universal Express, most easily compared to Premier Pass as it grants you access to each eligible ride once. This runs from $89 to $289.99. Universal Express Unlimited, this lets you ride all the eligible rides as many times as you want. This costs between $119 and $319. Both options can only be used in one park, Universal Studios or Islands of Adventure. Most notably, not all rides are included in this service, and the omissions are pretty major. Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure and Velocicoaster, the two most popular rides at Universal, are not included. The other major talking point for Universal's version over Disney's is that some hotels include the perk for free. Hard Rock Hotel, Loews Portofino Bay, and Loews Royal Pacific Hotel all include Express Unlimited when you stay there. These are the most expensive Universal hotels, but at Disney, you have to stay in those pricey rooms to even be eligible to buy it. Price-wise, Universal's Express Pass is a bit cheaper than Premier Pass and can even offer as many re-rides as you want, but it doesn't include every ride, so you'll still find yourself in standby lines with that purchase, and those lines are pretty much guaranteed to be lengthy. But remember, Disney World doesn't include every ride either. It only includes the rides that have lightning lanes. Now, the Hotel Express Unlimited perk is a pretty major game changer when comparing the two systems, but perhaps we could see Disney switch things up and offer Premier Pass as a potential perk for certain guests as well. Doubtful, but maybe. Now, will this stick around? This isn't the first time Disney's offered a premium add-on, but some have not stuck around for long. Could this go the way of those cabanas in Tomorrowland or the express bus that let you travel between parks without walking through front gates? Or is this a new standard, a cheaper version of a Disney VIP tour? Disney's always had levels of upgrades and options, though it does seem like they're pushing more towards the premium and luxury for the time being. We've been talking in other videos recently about Disney's push for more and more Disney Vacation Club resorts that cost significantly more per night than values, and how Disney management has come right out and said they're looking to make more money off of fewer guests. The tendency toward the pay-to-play and pricey upgrades is definitely rubbing many Disney goers the wrong way, but it's important to remember that Disney's always offered luxury-level options at a luxury-level price point. Just because the Grand Floridian exists does not mean that everyone who visits Disney World has to stay there, and that same mentality goes for Premier Pass. It's right for some and not for others, but there are still plenty of options for different budgets and travel styles. Premier Pass, while controversial, definitely has a time and a place for certain trips. Does it fit into most Disney goers' budgets and plans? No, but that's also what Disney's testing out in these initial phases of rollout. We may see things shift, especially as Epic Universe opens, but only time will tell if Disney will begin to shift back to things like non-paid resort guest perks over premium paid offerings. So there's our Premier Pass What's Up. Please let us know if you have more questions or comments, or if you're planning to use it or definitely not use it. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Vlog, and we'll see you real soon.